How long I'm back for, but I'm back. Yeah, a hasty reject. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download part 1 and part 2, and then I'll mash them together into a proper video, so that it will be a proper video that you can watch with all the bits taken out. I'm just loving at the moment that trolls at the moment. That there are so many stands. Yesterday there was some guy that chucked an insult my way, and I thought, oh, good, a troll to play with, and he ended up blocking me. So I was very disappointed because I wanted to play with trolls off. So as I said, I don't know how much will get done, but part 2. So I get back to hello, Peter. We'll get back to 7Ms and we'll keep going through the stuff. And then, as I said, I'll put the 2 parts I had to leave before. So, all right. So, this is the statement that 7M wrote. So it said that the Dotka series is a slanderous work of fiction born from a founding source, extortionate purpose of gaining fame and fortune. 2 years ago, when Priscilla Lee, aka Alicia Priscilla Lee, and their co-conspirators launched a concerted smear campaign to defame Robert Shin and his business associates after Mr. Shin did not capitulate to Miss Lee's extortion demands. Despite sworn statements from co-conspirators and Miss Lee to disseminate widespread lies, Netflix recklessly, and it's interesting that they've used the word recklessly, because one of the things is one of the things will be a reckless truth. One of the things that they will use. Provided a global platform to peddle a false narrative that is the centre of ongoing litigation. Legal remedies available to stop the spread of salacious lies and expect to be fully vindicated in court. So there's that one. Okay, so, of course, to that, the reporter, Robert Shin's new narrative, the document series, is a smear campaign that has been crafted by 2 women who tried to expose him. He also plays victim and states that he's the victim of slander and lies. Well, he's probably going to waste more money in lawsuits that he can't afford and won't ever comply with discovery orders. Well, he doesn't need to comply with discovery orders, Katie Joy, because you're the one that was deemed not to have to comply with. She's really pushing that, isn't she? He's the one that's. Just remember, Robert had the opportunity to respond. Production, use his own words. We have receipts of the banking transactions, fraud, and money laundering, etc. We have corroborated 4 members and 2 families. We have public records, audio, and what he meant to say was, "Praise the Lord, we are famous, hallelujah." On the flip side, maybe all these lawsuits that he's filing will bankrupt him in his own legal fees. Then she's tagged LA office and the LA Sheriff's Office. It's time to arrest this menace to society. For your information, that being that everyone is no thanks Jesus that Robert is not afraid of courts, that law enforcement is watching him. Did she just say praise Jesus? There you go. And then, so that was that. So then we've got to go to her stories, because there's some interesting ones in here. So then we're going to have a look at her video, which I believe is a sight to behold. So here she is saying that Shirley Kim is a lawyer and using her license to draft legal documents, contracts, business formations, and lawsuits for the dancers. Well, as far as I know, there's nothing illegal in that. She's doing this in violation of the CA Bar's Code of Ethics. Anyone impacted needs to file the complaint with the bar. Now, if you actually click, I looked a bit further on this, and if you actually looked more about this attorney, you will actually find, hello Renelle, you'll actually find that she's actually a business lawyer. Your documents for the out of scope. And let me just show you this, because I wanted to look. I've been doing my own research. I had some when I've been able to grab time between students today, I've been doing some little bit of researching. Hello, Renelle. How are you? And so let's just have a look. So this is the page that she's sharing. Okay. So if we click on more about this, she does business law, corporate law, entertainment, sport, family law, immigration, intellectual property. That she also speaks Korean and Spanish, and that's the law schools that she went. And that now here's the other interesting thing here. She was admitted to the State Bar of in 2011. Melanie Lee left 7M, left Shekinah in 2011. How was she involved in the drafting of those documents? Wasn't admitted as a lawyer at that point in time. I'm just saying. Now, apparently, fun fact, Robert's Shin smear campaign about my roof being damaged by hail. I don't really care. They said insurance will never cover it. This became a whole thing. Insurance is covering our roof. Again, I did some more research. Now she has shingles, which I believe they are shingles, but I was thinking that she had the other type of shingles. Shingles, where I live, probably where Peter's, and we think of totally different meaning. We think of a totally different meaning for shingles. I can tell you that now. Just saying. All right, I don't. Okay. Jace dug your breaks to mystery. Oh, who cares? I don't care who he's dating. There's no TV show. Typical Robert Shin using Miranda to fight his battles while deflecting and blaming her family and me. I didn't at all. The tropics, that's right. Oh, well, see, I've got tiles. We've got tiles here. I edited a response. I don't know why you have to edit it. To Robert Shin and Miranda, a statement blaming her lawsuit with me, my reporting, and her parents for attacking her. I only request that everyone watch and share the video on my YouTube to ensure the message is heard by as many people as possible. Because you got to do that, right? My official statement. Thank you for sharing. Who asked to give her? Well, remember, she is the spokesperson for the Wilkins family. She said. She has said. No one asked her. She wasn't. She wasn't even mentioned in there. So and then she shared that. Shakes her head no while she says thank you to those that have been supportive. She obviously hasn't been allowed to watch the documentary. How on earth do you get that? Actually, I teach this kid on the he's on the autism spectrum, and he will actually shake his head no while saying yes. You actually have to listen to what he says. You can't actually watch his body language because his body language actually contradicts what he actually says. I mean, it's not really moving ahead, but anyway. She's got the Pink Panther theme here. Hey Shirley, is this how you spy on me and make sure to report back? My post to repeat this. That's correct. That's correct. It's Robert Shin, I think, that's suing. I think it's Miranda and B Dash are only in the lawsuit. She's not posting that much anymore. Do you think? Yes, I think she's going to. I think she's going to be doing that. She's going to want to show that she's got lost money. I think that's correct. The sad thing is the fact that KJ says none of what she's been sued about is mentioned in the documentary. I remember human trafficking, both the court doc and the doc. She's having a paranoid. Was it both in the documentary? Was it? Because remember, I haven't seen it. That's what I sent you to do. You did for me. Well, I love it when she talks about evidence, and she says, "We've got evidence." So here we go. She's still going on about his delusional response. So she's posted. How many times has she posted that now? We'll have to look at Miss Balls and Llama Girl because they've actually got stuff that's been deleted in there. All right, so that's that. Oh dear. So let's go for let's go. Good. That's good. I'm glad that my source saw it in the documentary. See, my at least my source is willing to come live with me, be here. My source was afraid that if her son found out that he watched it, he might cut off the Netflix. Oh dear. Right. So let's go to Miss Balls because I think Miss Balls has got some more stuff for us. Nowhere in Miranda's statement was all about her and her family. It was to say my family. I've tried to, but this is what they've done. I just cannot believe myself. Oh, look, I don't care. I've got nothing to hide. All right, that's right. Here's some of the stuff that's been deleted. So she fun fact, Robert's neighbours are watching him, and word on the curb is that they aren't very happy with him, but enjoy this wild peacock while they monitor the situation. So she's showing that she doesn't have harassment. She also refers to sandwich, and again, this is Miss Balls. She's done this, the sandwich by Robert Shin. She's got that. So remember, Graham Martin to Amber. Good morning, Amber. We are in receipt of the audit with our clients consisting of the impact as to contention. I understand why you're seeking a stipulation to extend Discover, but I'm not sure that my client need any depositions in this matter. We only issued our timely discovery requests relevant to the issues your clients raised. We're awaiting your time. If your clients would like to discuss settlement instead at this juncture, I think it would be fruitful. I will discuss your requests with my clients. I thought he only had one client, but anyway, in the meantime, thank you. So that's been shared as well. She's a sandwich. Then someone picked up that it came from SpongeBob SquarePants. A character called Sandwich. She's a light green fish with long, messy white hair, and she wears a purple robe along with a purple circles around the tip. She also has light green fins, sharp nails, and a warts. And so again, Miss Bowles has drawn a picture of her. I love where. All right. So here we go. Please, I kind of believe her. I leave this alone until she decides to leave. And then says, is that you, Hannah or Shirley? Not everyone disagrees with you that Hannah or with you is Hannah and Shirley. You are delusional. Stop harassing these people. You are doing more harm than good. It's none of your business what these people do or what they choose to adults. And then someone says, we can't even read the full response. Can you remove your caption on it? And she says, no, I can't remove my caption. The caption is irrelevant. Yes, it is irrelevant. No need to be rude. I was just trying to read the whole statement. And went off to Miranda's Instagram. I think telling her to get out, no, they're bothered because she isn't making money. I think she gained followers since this documentary, which just makes more money for them. Everyone unfollow these people. I hope the Wilkins don't give up. This monster must me. Katie says, we are committed to staying this fight for the long run. The Wilkins aren't going to be intimidated anymore. Hello, Vidandra. How are you? Okay. Oh, yes. The drinking window's open. That's that one. Oh, yeah, she edited it a little bit. And then it says, only 23 likes in half an hour with the whole world watching. No one is buying it. It took me 3 minutes to race him. So here we go. Where is the evidence of extortion? A legal demand letter that we were going to sue him for human trafficking, fraud, sexual harassment, gender violence. She says we sent. Demand letter that they were going to, a legal demand letter. Okay, here is the demand letter. Dear Mr. Shin, our firm represents Alicia Lee. Miss Lee has retained our firm to file a lawsuit against you for general, special, and punitive damages arising out of your actions in connection with Shekinah Church and RCP Financial. Where's 7, by the way? At trial, you, Hannah Shin, Matthew Kim, Young Bin Kim, Dina Keller, Abraham Park, Jenny Park, Chloe Shin, Daniel Joseph, Ewan Sok-sun, aka Luke, Shekinah Church, Alpha Plus Realty, RCP Financial, will be liable to receive millions of punitive damages as well as attorney fees on Miss Payne. Los Angeles jury readily award for what? To Miss Lee, generous damages because of unconscionable treatment of her as set forth more fully below. Miss Lee hereby demands $25 million to settle her before filing a lawsuit. And then it's years of brainwashing, physical and sexual, emotional abuse, manipulation, and exploitation to which you subjected Miss Lee. You referred to yourself as the man of God and preached to your church members that without you, they would be cursed. So this is what she's saying is the evidence of extortion. So let me go back to the question. Why did none of these people go to the police? I don't know why. So her proof is that KJ requests discovery in lawsuit. So here's issue. Where is the only extortion I can see is that we demand $25 million, otherwise we're going to file a lawsuit. That's extortion. But they've just put it in here with no proof. It's just a letter of demand. That's her proof of extortion. That's her proof. That's her proof. That's what she's saying her proof is. And I'm saying to you, an extortion letter is not proof. Right. So let's go back to Lama Girl. Because she did the videos. Oh, yeah, she talked about Jason Duggar hard launched his relationship in more than 2 years. Let's talk about the scandalous courtship he announced, but also why it's not that exciting. So here is her a 7M mention that 7M mentioned that they have. Yes, that's what they said. They say they've got the evidence. That's right. So, which is pretty damning.
Tuesday, June 4th, 2024.
All right, so let's have a look at this. All right. Everyone got their video cards ready? Here we go. I'm going to say that because that's the only way we can watch.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I just want to hop on here really quick and first of all say thank you so much to everybody who's been so supportive during this time. In the next couple slides, I've included my statement of the documentary that's just released. I can go into much detail because of purposes, but I just wanted to add my side of the story a little bit. Thank you so much for taking a read. Have a great day. Hey friends, it's Katie. First of all, welcome back to my channel. It is Tuesday, June.
So, who signed Miranda's? Did they certainly prove that they didn't want her said it? Yes. So she did. Well, she's got in from saying that they weren't.
4th, 2024. And I apologize for not being on camera. I was actually not planning or even expecting to have to respond today to.
You didn't have to respond. It wasn't about you.
These claims. And so here we are, because on last week, on Wednesday, Dancing for the Dog on TikTok cult was released on Netflix.
Why did she wasn't even mentioned at all in this statement from Miranda. She wasn't mentioned in the statement from Shin. I mean, from 7M. She hasn't been mentioned at all. She's made it about herself.
The series, you met so many amazing human beings that have been impacted by a group called 7M Church. The man at the center of the story, Robert Shin, has a 30-plus year history of allegedly splitting up families.
20 years to 30 years now. Okay.
For him and doing all unethical and immoral acts allegedly on women. Robert Shin.
Unethical and immoral aren't necessarily illegal, by the way. You can be unethical but still follow the law.
3 women go to the police in Los Angeles County and report him for SA. Robert Shin has been accused.
It's echoing. I'm sorry. Let's have a look, see if I can stop it echoing. All right. I'm not winning. Let's try this. Okay, hopefully. So she's telling people to report him again.
Has a 30-plus year history of him and doing all kinds of unsavory and unethical and immoral acts, allegedly, on women.
Forcing people to work for you. Does that mean that I was part of a cult? Because I used to work for my parents. It's called doing chores. And I don't have a problem with that if you rent or you're getting cheap rent. I don't have a people as a way of paying them back.
Robert Shin has had 3 women go to the police in Los Angeles County and report him. Robert Shin has been accused in Los, and yet today he is still walking free. He has not been charged with anything. And instead of Robert Shin making a comment publicly, Robert Shin.
Yeah, but they've only accused. You're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, under the law.
And put Miranda Wilkins.
People have filed lawsuits for defamation against Kate.
Miranda Derrick at the helm to fight his battles once again. If you're not new to the story, you should not be surprised by what you saw today. But if you are new to the story, this is Robert's MO. Robert Shin wants to control the narrative. He wants this publicity that is negative to stop. He wants Miranda and the dancers that are under his control to go back to work, to be profitable, and to make him money. He wants to continue to run his business the way he wants to run it.
Say reports to police are no arrest. Only reason I can, or they were before. They've I think 2017 they brought in they removed the statute of limitations. So unless it came in from that time before then, that would be my
interference without anyone telling him what he's doing is wrong. In Robert's world, according to what you see in the series, and by the accounts of the people that's to say anything, and everyone else must be. Well, today, Miranda responded, and this statement that she just put out on her social media is...
She just contradicted herself. Listen to this.
The only one that gets to say anything, and everyone else must be doing is wrong. In Robert's world, according to what you see in the series, and by the accounts of the people that knew him, Robert is the only one that gets to say anything, everyone else must be silent.
The only one that gets to say anything.
Well, today, Miranda responded.
Must be silent.
This statement that she just put out on her social media is at best nothing but filled with lies. I've already spoken to Kelly Wilkin, who has already told me that this statement she does not believe was written by Miranda. She also believes that the statement and this tactic that Robert is using is to throw Miranda under the bus, throw her and her family under the bus, throw me under the bus, throw the production under the bus, so that he can get out of this.
To do but she said she'd seen it. She didn't agree with it, and she just gave some background story as to the family didn't agree, and that after that it was going to be hard to mend bridges after this. Wow.
So that he doesn't have to address these issues. I want Miranda under the bus, her and her family under the bus, throw me under the bus, throw the production under the bus, so that he can get out of this unscathed, so that he doesn't have to address these issues.
Really? There was nothing about the production in that statement. We all statement, right?
We'll redo her statement, and then I will respond. She wrote us, "Hey everyone, just wanted to hop on here and say that I've seen the documentary. I want to start by saying that I appreciate the concern that has been expressed for my well-being. Due to which I am a plaintiff in a defamation lawsuit, it is not appropriate for me to comment on specific allegations, though I will state that I do not condone abuse in any way.
Now, let me just tell you, the fact that she said that she's not going to make a lot of specific comments is actually very, very nice.
Because right here and say that the only pending litigation Miranda has is in a case that was filed against me in the state of Minnesota more than 2 years ago, where Miranda and Robert and James have provided no discovery that I've done anything to defame." She's
still doing that. She's still using that line.
2 years ago, where Miranda and Robert and James have provided no discovery to put on anything additional.
They haven't had. They did show in every single statement and where it was located. Do we need to go back to the court document? Instagram post on such and such a date accused Robert or whatever, such and such a date and such. That's the evidence of.
Of any allegations. I have never accused Miranda of any allegations. I've never accused her of crimes. I've never accused of anything other than being in a high control group. I'll continue. I cannot speak for anyone but myself.
Now she's saying of being in a high control group. Well, that's different to being in a cult.
self. I love my mom and dad and Melanie, and they will forever be a part of my life. The truth is, we just don't see eye to eye at this time. I believe that this documentary is a one-sided story. I gave my life to Jesus Christ in 2020, very beginning, to collect my thoughts and process my I wanted to take with God. It's interesting that she would say, because this is exactly what Kalia and Concrete and Aubrey and Kylie all said in the series. Robert wanted them all to cut off their families to get with their walk with God. This is not a normal tactic used by churches. This is not a normal strategy. It is.
They didn't she wanted, because the court said they didn't need it. It was the court that decided that it wasn't needed. It wasn't them that said that they wouldn't need it.
Isolation tactic, and any church that asks you to cut off your friends and family. I also told my sister that I wanted to continue our road of our account, and when I asked for access back, she denied my request. So I had no other choice but to start my own account and pursue my own career. I still have yet to receive access into our account. My family didn't honor the space I asked for, and I saw a different side of them I've never seen before. Honestly, it made me mad, frustrated, and annoyed that they were being so overbearing. I wanted to touch on this part because, first of all, and it's because Melanie does not want Robert to have access to her TikTok account.
So therefore, she's now admitting that Miranda is locked out of the TikTok account. They've been denying it. They're saying that
that's linked to her bank, that's, has her tax information linked into it. If Robert gains access through Amanda to her account, that means Robert gains access to Melanie's account and Melanie's private information. As long as Miranda is working for Robert, it is preventing Robert from accessing her private information that no data access to. If it were just Miranda, Melanie would allow her back in a heartbeat, but it's not just Miranda. She was logged out of the account to protect her identity from Robert. I want to be clear. In 2020,
there you go. And don't forget, she's defending the Wilkins family. Why is she defending a family that she knows nothing about? Isn't she going to have egg on her face if this all unravels to find out that Miranda was correct?
Went to Michigan to visit my family for Christmas. My papa was taken to the hospital due to medical issues. We got a phone call. Melanie and I drove to the hospital to say our last goodbyes. Before we went into the hospital to do so, I started to pray for our papa, and Melanie got offended and angry with me and told me to stop and to never pray around her. Our papa passed away that day. Fast forward about a month and a half, Melanie and I are in LA, and we're about to head back to Michigan for our papa's funeral. I was at a place with my family where I felt like I was being harassed. My parents and sister were not related. A cult. That's not why they called it a cult. I felt if I asked for the funeral, they would try to keep me there and come back to LA. So I told my family that I would not be going to Michigan and that I wanted to move in and begin my life with James. To keep it simple, I did not want to be around them at the time because I felt threatened by them. They have never done anything to threaten her. But this is again,
how does she think that they've done there? Who's to say who is threatening to you might not be threatening to me? Who are you to say that you're not threatened? And don't forget, for her to say they did nothing to threaten, how does she know? Was she there?
Be around them at the time because I felt threatened by them. They have never done anything to threaten her. But this is again Robert trying to make it. He did this the last time. He called and accused them of racism. He accused Dean of being too aggressive with her. This has nothing to do with her feeling scared of her parents. She was not allowed to go to let her. It was not a choice. It was Robert said he couldn't go. She couldn't.
Prove it. So she's saying she was feeling threatened, but Katie's saying, oh no, she wasn't feeling threatened. So I wonder how much Melanie pocketed from locking her out. Well, that's a good question. Really good question.
I have been getting together with these past family. This documentary has created a further challenge I work to overcome the public attack. No one likes to be portrayed as they're brainwashed, not in control. Robert is the one that will view this as an attack, not Miranda. No one is actually.
She has it hard for Robert Shin, doesn't she?
Actually attacking Miranda. And if you are attacking Miranda, stop. Do not leave her negative comments. This isn't Miranda writing this. And when I'm saying everything today, this is not to me. This is not to Miranda. This is to Robert. Robert is the one that is feeling attacked rightfully because what happened in the series and what he has done to people has caused harm. And to try to escape consequences, in my opinion, Robert Shin is going to try to make it everyone else's fault and that he is the victim.
Wowzers. But the thing was, it had nothing to mention.
Where they switch victim and perpetrator. So he becomes a victim and we are the perpetrators. Then he attacks the victims, and then the victims will apologize to him. We will not apologize, at least I won't, to Robert Shin. I will add that I would have preferred that my family's circumstances remain private. I'm forced and feel like I have no other choice but to defend myself because of all of this. I can't convince anyone to believe anything. I'm just a woman trying to live my life. I'm not a victim abused. I've never asked my family or anyone else to help me. in any way. Respectfully, what I choose to is up to me. As I take time to process and reflect on the situation, I would appreciate your continued support. Unfortunately, with regard to her not believing that she's a victim, not believing that she's been abused, she's in a world right now where Robert has desensitized them to believe that like evil is good and good is evil. A common tactic used by most leaders. It's like the ends justify the means. It's okay if some bad things happen if the good outweighs that.
I want to jump on the screen.
She has been told, oh, do what he says and follow his rules and obedience to the mentors and to him. She will go to hell. She will lose her salvation. Her family will go to hell. She will lose job opportunities. She will be isolated from her friends. She will not be allowed to go to church.
Where's the evidence for this? Has she got some teaching, some handbook? Is there some Shekinah guidebook or something she can show us? Where is all this coming from?
Lose the opportunity to participate in Bible studies. She doesn't obey and submit. She can't get what she needs and what she wants. And what she needs and wants to please Robert because she wants to go to heaven. She doesn't want to go to hell. She doesn't want her family to go to hell. And she also wants to work. Kelly and Dean and Melanie will all tell you that Miranda is a people pleaser. Very, very, very driven and incredibly talented, but also loves to do whatever she needs to make that person happy. Robert is using that against her. Robert is using her eagerness and her desire to be the best for herself and to please others as a weapon against her. He's now weaponizing Miranda against, as her parents didn't want to do this. I can say for certain they didn't feel like they had any other options.
Oh, so now she's speaking on behalf of the parents again. This is what I don't understand. Sput out.
And I know Kelly, Dean, and Melanie personally. I have spent more than 2 years getting to know them
personally.
They're the kindest, most loving, gentle people you will ever meet. They are the most accepting and kind people you will ever meet. And even after this statement today, they will still take Miranda back and help her when she wants to get out. Not pass judgment on her. They will offer a home for her to stay, to recoup, to get her life back on track. They will help her with any services. If she needs therapy, they will get her any she needs. And if she calls.
Notice that they said her and James. Because I would assume if she's a people pleaser, family must have really treated her. Yes, that's right, really badly to distance stuff.
This isn't about Miranda. It's about Robert to win. He wants Miranda to work. He wants to be profitable. All of this impacts his bottom line. All of this impacts his reputation.
Ultimately, all of this is Miranda, because if there's no money,
and it's possible freedom. Robert is going to do lawsuits probably against the production, maybe. He will very likely continue to use Miranda and weaponize her against her family. And sadly, it's at the detriment of Miranda. And so I ask all of you that when you see her say these words and you hear her and you think that she wrote, it's not her. That is programming and that is Robert. Please remember what you heard in the series from Kylie about how everything is controlled by the mentors. Remember what Aubrey said.
As I said, there's a bit of there's still a bit of confusion whether it's the 7M part or the church part. And let me also, I'll just reiterate here, Melanie Lee, Shekinah 7M was even started. And this is why I'm saying that 7M has a good chance of winning against Netflix, because everybody has assumed that has been around for as long as Melanie Lee has. It wasn't started until 2021. Basic research will show you that. So we're talking about 2 separate entities here. We're not talking the same entity. And this is why 7M has got a chance. And with Katie Joy's lawsuit, everything that she's talking about 7M is in relation to the church as well.
Buy a pair of shoes, you need to get permission. They are told they must submit and obey. And Miranda being used by Robert to fight his that do think she's talented and want her to get out, because all this does is make her look bad. It's going to tarnish her reputation and it's going to ruin her brand. If she's in the middle of a fight about a cult, no one will work with her. It's going to make her look weak. It's going to make her look full, her look already statement. Robert's brand.
I thought it was a very good statement. I thought it was a very good statement. I was very impressed. It was articulate. It was to the point, and but apparently not.
Of Christianity is one of the most ugly forms of Christianity I've ever witnessed. The lasting impact that he has on people and the harm that he causes and the personalities that these people take on are not their personalities. They take on Robert's personality. And Robert,
You know what? Look at sports take on different personalities. That's highly regulated. They have to eat at a certain time. That they're required to do certain things. They're going to wear certain things at the certain time.
Robert is not, in my opinion, a nice guy. Robert is vindictive. Robert is controlling. Robert is free. Robert has no morals. Robert has no ethics. Robert has no problem insulting and criticizing and attacking and maligning and defaming and degrading people. He has no problem passing the blame, deny everything in the series. He will deny.
I'm looking at the Katie in the mirror. Hello, Ruth.
Deny he wrote the statement by Miranda. He will deny that he told Miranda to do this. And Miranda will deny that she that anyone else made her write it. Robert will Miranda. Again, this is just making it in her. But remember that at the core of this, she's a person. And a lot like India Oxenberg, who was going through it when Keith got arrested, Keith Raniere, it was embarrassing for her. But when she got on the other side of it, people saw her for who she was again. You can come back, even if you're stuck in a situation that feels impossible.
Wowzers. She made this because she felt she
by Miranda. And I'm not going to use a lawsuit when she sued me. That his lawsuit to sue me was used for two purposes. One, it was to shut her up because she would have to say, I can't speak because of a lawsuit. Great, right? So it keeps her silent. Two, he thought it would shut me up and he thought it would shut the Wilkins up. He thought that by suing me, he would be able to get the Wilkins away from me or anyone. That didn't work. He tried to get a judge to put a gag order in this case and they didn't. He tried.
Yes, he did. Because the judge didn't think that she would be stupid and that anyone would be stupid enough to keep talking. But there is a protective order.
To claim that I had no right to even speak about the lawsuit or his church while he was suing me. The judge said, no, you can talk as much as you want to speak. I stand by my reporting. I stand by my opinions. I stand by my First Amendment rights to speak the truth. And Miranda is being.
So now she's saying she's speaking the truth. Okay, well, you've got to prove that it's the truth.
Because of a lawsuit that has nothing to do with this. And finally, I just want to say this, that if Miranda did stand for victims, and I know in the real world she does, when she's not not being influenced by Robert, she does stand for victims. But what is she saying when she says, I don't condone abuse, but I can only speak for myself? She is saying that's a one-sided documentary, which means her friends are lying, her parents are lying, Melanie and Priscilla are lying, the Rianos are lying, her own words are lying. He has turned her into the misogynist that he is. Robert.
What? He's turned her into a misogynist? What on earth?
Robert's brand of Christianity is one turned that Robert's brand. The public records are lying. Robert's own words are lying. He has turned into the misogynist that is. Robert's brand of Christianity is one of the most toxic and misogynistic brands I've ever seen and witnessed because of the level of chaos he creates and the competition he makes for the women that are inside of it.
I thought it was the Doug.
And so none of them end up believing each other. I've witnessed firsthand when people come out of this group and they are hurt by one another and they don't believe the other person's story. They have been weaponized against each other. They're pit against each other in this cult. So when they do come out, they don't believe each other. So for Miranda not to believe Kylie, it was doing in the cult. He will say she's a liar. That didn't happen. She misunderstood me because she and Kylie were competitive. They were all striving for the same finite resources. Miranda is doing what the victims in this cult do when they get out. And when
Miranda is a way better dancer than Kylie.
they're in, they blame everyone and they accuse everyone
they are the victim, they have the most trauma, because in his cult, it's not a competition. And here's the thing, in Miranda's real world, she would believe her friends. She would never side with an abuser.
And she obviously knows, she obviously knows Miranda so well. She knew what she was like. How does she know
would
this?
never stand with someone accused of R or SA. She would never put her career on the line in such a severe way. What she's doing and what he's doing to her right now is career ending. Brands are not going to want to work, will not be cast. She will be nobody if she stays with him. Something her mom told me the other day is, now is the time for you to get out before it gets worse, because at some point you can't come back. And the longer you stay, the harder it is going to be to recover. You don't want does maybe get arrested and he does go to jail and the atrocities do come out, or worse, you become a part of the crimes, like some of his other people that are involved in his group, the women that started when they were the same age as Miranda, that are now part of the same scheme, and they're hurting people like Miranda. Miranda is behaving the way Robert has her to behave, and he does condone and he does support abuse. He does. That's my opinion. I believe that Robert supports that. I believe that
if she stands by her reporting and she speaks the truth, she would need to say,
Robert doesn't care that he hurts
my opinion.
women. I believe that he doesn't care that he's hurting Miranda. You know, he told me, Conrad, that when this all goes down, and if it blows up in flames, and if he loses the lawsuits, and if he's arrested, he will blame his wife and he will blame Shirley, the two women that he groomed from the time they were teenagers to do his dirty work. He will take, he will throw anyone and everyone under the bus. And Robert, don't send Miranda hate. This lawsuit and her lawsuit against me is not the problem. I am not the problem. The Wilkins are not the problem. The only problem is Robert Chin, in my opinion. All right, you guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click on the bell so you never miss a video.
Wow. 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 It says, 7M says here that they've got, despite sworn statements from co-conspirators that confirm the scheme by Miss Goldman and Miss Lee, to Netflix recklessly provided a global. So they're saying, 7M is to say that there was a plot. So isn't that interesting? Hello, Bella. Wowzers. I got nothing else to say. I don't know what else to say. It's just shock. I'm all right, Bella. How are you? Flat out with these podcasts at the moment. The Olympic one, and just about to edit a podcast with a Paralympian too. She finds out next month whether she's been selected for the Paralympic game. So that's next. There's a couple next week. And yesterday I yesterday did a podcast. I didn't, but I'm going to start editing the cast with James Thompson. So if you are an Aussie and are old enough, you remember the Awesome Foursome. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. So, you know. Yeah, so I just know at the end of the day, what Miranda's versions of it, that's what she wholly and solely believes. And we did say we thought that the law put a wedge between the family. Now she's saying, Katie says Miranda do all of this, and Robert Shin's doing this, and Robert Shin's doing that. I have seen, I don't know any evidence. I've not seen any evidence to show either way who's responsible for it. But if Miranda didn't say anything, she says something, she criticized for saying something. So she's in a bit of she's between a rock and a hard place at the moment too. So I don't know what she's supposed to do. I can't find, I haven't seen any law. I've been looking for lawsuits. I can't find any lawsuits, any more lawsuits. So, but as I said, the trolls came out to play. Somebody had said that I'd been outed, and I wanted to know what I was outed from. Because, no, she's not saying anything. You are correct. Miranda's parents were trying to control the thing. That's the sad thing, is that's what it seems like. And whether they think they are or not, that's her perception. And if that's how she feels, that's how she feels. No, I don't on TikTok, no, but I believe I can link it to go live on TikTok, and I probably will do that at some stage. I've got to link them all up. I'd like to do have all my socials go live at once at some point eventually. One place. She does business and she was doing real estate initially. So, but yeah, if you remember, if you actually look at the original, now I believe Katie Joy actually suits, and I would just here's the other issue. This is the lawsuit or the countersuit, right? And like, remember, 7M Films is there, right? So let's go to here again. I want to just look at, because there was something interesting in here. So this is all the documents Katie Joy's filed, lawsuits against Robert Sheen versus Goldman. Yeah, probably. Hang on. Sheen versus Lee. But remember, unless a judge has made a decision on it, I don't take everything. I take everything face value in lawsuits. Oh, here we go. Letter of demand. Yeah, I will do that in a minute. I've just got to find what it is. I've got to remember what it is. What it is, actually. So if you look at this, I know it's a declaration. Hang on. Where is it? Lawsuits filed against Robert Sheen. Yeah, it says 7M. M is in there, but the original letter of demand. Where is this? This is the letter of demand. Exhibit A. Okay. So if you look at this letter of demand, so it talks about, for decades you controlled Miss Lee's finances as a young woman from Korea in her teens, whatever, emotional abuse. It talks about the emotional abuse. It's just this. Now, again, it says Miss left in 2012, okay? So she left in 2012. This is still before 7M. And it says she coerced. And it says she rejoined in 2014. Then she left in 2022 after 7M had started. So the question is, why didn't she make any reports when she first left, and why did she go back? And then comes from the church. And again, this is before 7M. And they wanted 25 million. So, then there was another one. And in fact, interestingly, this is aiding and abetting, and Shekinah, you willingly assisted Robert Shin and Shekinah parties in embezzling Miss Lee's funds. Who's this to? Miss Shin. Yeah, Peter. According to this, she left and went back. This is what I'm not understanding. So this one is aiding and abetting, apparently. You're in embezzling Miss funds in the sexual and in sexually harassing her. This letter of demand says, but again, it's just a whole pile of word salad. Then this is on Alicia. Now let's say identical to essentially it didn't. In 2021. Yes, correct. See, they didn't put that. Miss Lee left the church in 2012, and then says 2014. Essentially identical to the other one, to the sister. The two sisters have essentially identical claims. So how can they have claims down to the last? And according to that's what they both left. According to this, Ethan Brown. This was the. All right. So then they put was all that came about. So letter of demand. It says needless to say the demand contains of obligations. Given we've just received the letters and process, it's going to be done. It's going to take some time. She wanted $25 million. Otherwise, she was going to sue him. I don't know. Isn't that extortion? I'd never noticed that before, by the way, that she had left and come back. So my question is, what? In fact, both says back. This is getting more and more and more and more bizarre. And so, defended cross-racially by our attorneys. For nearly 23 years, Robert and the other cross-defendants subjects cross-complainants to brainwashing, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, manipulation, and exploitation. Okay, Joy said 30 years. I think they tried. It survived a slap, I think. Hello, donkey balls. So it says, in operating his church, Robert preached that without him, cross-complainants and other members would be cursed. Undermined members' last chance by heaven or rapture. During sermons, Robert would say Shekinah members could leave the church at any time. Those who left and their families would not be protected. I probably did get put on the cult helpers list, short order, but I haven't. Who left and their families would not be protected and would be instead to spiritual attacks. So it said he undermined the cross complainants' confidence in themselves. He told them they'd experienced poverty, sickness, death. He did so with help. Hannah, so they list all of that. While claims Miss Lee and other defendants created social media accounts and have conspired to cancel his church since March 2022. Incidentally, he did not sue them until weeks after Miss Lee sent him a demand letter. Her letter summarised the despicable, horrendous, and unlawful conduct he and the cross-defendants engaged. I mean, lots of cults, that's right. My meetings are filling up so fast. Okay. And then this is where, point 7, Shekinah is a cult that engages in egregious and despicable illegal behaviour. Have they said that 7M is a cult? It's always been Shekinah. Again, it's a really big that could go 7M's way. Mistake. Plaintiff's complaint was an attempt to change the narrative before this complaint came public. And it was about all the cost complainants. This, by the way. Okay. Cross defendants were members of the Shekinah enterprise and acted within the course and scope of said joint venture, aided and abetted acts of omission each and every time. So Shekinah is a cult operating as a religious headquartered in California, and Robert Shin operates businesses headquartered in Santa Ana. So again, it's the church. Robert refers himself to the man of God. He exerted control through his members, through the mentors, code violations. Robert's wife was referred to as the woman. Shirley Kim was considered the woman of God through 2009. In 2010, Hannah became the woman of God. Remember, 7M didn't start to 2021. And had separate Bible studies. That's not unusual. Attended sermons by Robert on Wednesday. That's not unusual. Telling him everything, even things they would not tell their own wife or husband. Well, isn't that what they have confession for? In 2021, every Shekinah member was instructed to apply for COVID relief. Again, no mention of 7M. No mention of 7, including who's on women on information. We're at 100% what Octave members, including Alicia Lee, made after those members were allowed to pay for basic necessities such as car payments, insurance, and income tax, minimal monthly wages, more than 10% of their income to Shekinah. Miss Lee was to classify the contributions of offerings and not tithes. Okay, Alicia Lee. 1999, Miss Lee was recruited to join Shekinah by Robert. Not 7M. 7M didn't exist at this time. She didn't have a driver's license. So this is why she had neither driver's license or a card. Gained possession of her license, and she kept it from him. When Miss Lee first became involved with Shekinah, Robert instructed her to work for two companies, an outside company Monday through Fridays, and Giga Financial as after that on set for all-day church days. Giga Financial was a real estate and mortgage company owned by Robert. Allowed to work in was ultimately fired from the outside job when her bosses found out she was also working for Giga Financials. Shekinah members blamed Miss Lee for getting fired from the outside job and told her she was being too busy to hide her job. Miss Lee received a small weekly more than $40. Everything paid for you. Do you need a lot of money? I'm just throwing it out there. I remember Shekinah was always given separately given authority to control Miss Lee's and Shekinah members' bank accounts. So eventually Chloe became a mentor in 20. Isaiah became a mentor while working with mentor and works Catherine also Miss Lee while at work. There's some pretty bad bosses out there that do that still today. Miss Lee would be carried off apparently. Church in 2004. Yes, she. Somebody. Wasn't that somebody won wages as paid? Correct. Miss Lee in 2004 got married in May. Miss Lee's sisters were made, and even after she left, I thought she put in that thing that she came back. Miss Lee's sisters were told they weren't allowed to talk to Miss Communication was approved. After Shekinah had a church split in October 2008, Miss Lee's sisters called her in 2008, and Miss Lee met. Oh, yeah. So anyway, and then it says that so I don't know why she rejoined if it was such a really bad thing. And then she retained the real estate. So it's just baffling. But yeah, she did win the case and got her wages paid. So I don't understand. And for now, we'll come back and tomorrow brings, and this is going to be a very interesting case, and